Hi folks. So, from the last video, let's be honest for a second. If I'd have had the family support, if I'd have had the friend support, if I'd have had a good church supporting me, could I have gone through what I went through? Could I have gone through all that stuff that I went through? The answer is maybe not. Maybe the only way I could go through it was to go through it on my own. Maybe the only way I could have strength to go through the latter things would be to go through the earlier things on my own. And that's the point. That's why it's not a point. I can mention what people have said in the past and what people have done in the past, but I don't judge those people because I understand that maybe that's exactly what the situation had to be. As I say, I mean, I now have a beautiful relationship with God where for me, everything is about God, everything is about Father. Beautiful, fantastic, wonderful. Right? I know it's quite likely I wouldn't have that if I wasn't in a position where that was all I had. Because maybe now I'd have a lovely, brilliant relationship with family or friends or church and not God and not Father. So, yeah, we have to be willing to have understanding that, yeah, things happen the way they did, and maybe they had to happen that way. Maybe that's the point. Yeah, and yeah, in all things, we understand it. Yeah. I know, for example, I had a friend on Facebook, Bianca, Bob's wife, and in the end, I deleted her as a friend, or unfriended her on Facebook. And when she, again, I don't know how many times she'd done it, quite a few, at least twice before, when she has said again that for now she doesn't want to speak to me because I said something that offended her. Well, because again, she was talking about the way that she wanted to handle a situation. And I was saying, yeah, but there is only one way to properly handle a situation. If you want to handle it God's way, then. And she got offended by that. So she said, okay. So I had to make a decision. Okay, let's not make the situation worse. So in not making the situation worse, I said, okay, let's remove temptation to contact her or share anything with her in the very near future, anything at all. Because of course, yeah, when you know somebody's going through stuff, yeah, when God gives you something and you think, oh, that thing could actually help that person, you share it with them. When that person says they don't want to speak to you right now, don't do that. You won't be received. Whatever you pass across won't be accepted anyway, so therefore don't. She's big enough to contact me when she understands that, yeah, okay. Well, again, for me, yes, I wouldn't add her as a friend again until she understood that, yeah, as a friend, she shouldn't be trying to pick and choose whether she wants to speak to people based upon whether she likes what they say or not. Yeah? Yeah. I mean, you know, she's not a child, she's a grown woman, so therefore, I would expect her to be, yeah. And I think that's fair. I don't think that's an unfair situation. to put onto her. Yes, I understand she's going through situations, but I also know that the only way to deal with it is through God, and actually through God, yeah, according to what the Son of God says, and according to, so yeah. So when someone's presenting a scenario that's different to that, then of course I've got to say, no, that's not going to help you. And if the person gets offended by that, okay, that's fine. Again, if you get offended, then speak to people about why, and maybe God can actually help you to deal with that. But as soon as you basically end contact, there you go. For contact to properly start, this ending contact crap has to be sorted first. Of course it does. It needs to be understood that that's not the way to do things. So, yeah. Again, I'm not judging her. I understand she's where she is. And I'm not mentioning her in this for people to have a go at her, because that would be wrong. Or for her to have a go at herself, because that would be wrong. It's not about that. But it is about using that as an example and saying, look, this is the point. Isn't it, really? Yeah. We understand that things happen for a reason. And yeah, for a reason, be who you are. Be truthful to who you are. And always be truthful to other people. Because you never know what that truth is going to bring. Because again, even if someone gets offended, this is one thing that really pees me off about church right now. They do not understand or even consider that maybe God wanted that person to be offended because there's something in them that needs to be dealt with. I understand that. So therefore, if someone gets offended by anything I say and do, I don't care. I don't. I couldn't care less, because I understand if that person gets offended and then does things according to the world as a result, being offended is according to the world, the way they react is according to the world, and so therefore it's what's in them. And what I said maybe has highlighted that, which means that they can maybe get it dealt with. And that's what matters. As I say, I couldn't care less. Because we have that situation, and I've challenged other people with it, so I have to challenge myself with it as well. What's more important? Your relationship with the person, or the person's situation, where they are with God, and where they're going when they die? What's more important? If I'm going to say it's friendship, then I'm no use to anyone at all. I'm no use even to myself, if that's the case. No. I've had major disagreements with Rob, with the way that he's done things in the past. Because he was putting friendship as the most important thing. Well, and that's because of the fact that the way he lived meant he had to. I get it. He had to because of the way he lived. I never had to. I never had to. And so thankfully, I never had to, because, it's always been the case where for me, I've always spoken what I believe was true and what I believed should be spoken, because, I've never tried to protect or save a relationship. It's about the person. Help that person to be saved rather than the relationship you have with them. And so, if the relationships I have with people are still meant to be there in the future, then they will be. If they're not, then they won't be. No worries. You take